The Google Gang Podcast.
Probably should have made the decision to do comedy or something different when I made the decision to do dentistry.
Do you feel like you've wasted a bit of time?
I don't look back on life ever really with wasted time.
Yeah, because like I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and he's now approaching 30, right? And basically from the age of 20 to about 28, all he did was sort of just travel around, work in bars, work in hostels, and sort of just like muck about. And now he's sort of more focused on his career and what he wants to do. And I was like, do you feel like you wasted that time traveling? And he was like, no. He's like, that's what made me good at what I'm doing now, is that sort of thing. Yeah. And that's almost how I look at this experience, like coming over here, meeting all these new people, and like, I don't understand people that move. Like, I've got a group of Aussie friends that live here. Some of them have gone home now, but they came here, but everyone they know is Australian, but not from back home. They met them here. But it's like, why? I don't have hardly any friends that are from Australia. I want to be friends with English people because I'm in England, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to like, go away. Did you ever travel?
No.
So you've never been anywhere other than England except for holidays?
Well, no. Like, I've only been on holidays, yeah. It wasn't something like the... Wait, should we put it on a podcast?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, are we? Oh, hiya. I'm so rubbish, aren't I?
This is literally like teaching your mum how to use her phone for the first time.
It kind of is. I feel like I'm a little bit of a mum sometimes in the comedy forum when I get there, and I
mean, you are a mum.
All these guys are so much younger than me. I actually said to Dan Baines once at Hot Water, I was like, move along, let Dan sit down. Sit there, Dan. He was like, I'm okay, I'm an adult. Do you know what I mean? I was like,
I'm a fully grown man. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
If I want to sit down, I can. Yeah. So no, it was kind of like, we were brought up in the north end of Birkenhead, so it was my mum was a single mum. Dad was there, and but primarily it was just we were brought up, and it wasn't like a thing that we would do. Education wasn't really a thing that we would go to school and then go to high school, but it wasn't like Mum would always say to us, make sure that you make something of yourself and do something and stuff like that, which is great. But traveling wasn't really ever.
Wasn't a thing.
No, like when we went on holiday in my generation from where we were from, you didn't go like abroad. You went to Wales. You know what I mean?
You went to Wrexham.
Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't as bad as going to Wrexham. Sorry, Wrexham. But it wasn't as bad as going to Wrexham. But it was like Talaka.
I don't know what Talaka is now.
Yeah, well, you should go to Talaka while you're in this country. It is beautiful.
What's the chain of like holiday parks that they have here? Butlins.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Butlins?
It wasn't. No, we didn't go to Butlins. but caravan holidays. Yeah. Like that's what we did. That's what we had. You know, that's kind of our generation, and a load of other people in my generation who only did that. There was some of them, like I went to school with a girl called Katie, and their mum and dad had a bit more money than everyone else, so it's like she'd go to like Disney World, and my mum would always feel terrible. She'd be like, oh, Katie's going to Disney World and you're only going to Wales and that. I remember the overriding feeling of not being arsed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not bothered she's going to Disney World, really. Yeah. Like, I've never been that kind of person to sit and look what other people have got.
Yeah, and be like, oh, I wish I could be doing that.
Yeah, like I'm always like, if you want to do it, get off your ass and go and do it.
What I always say, right, is look at what 95% of people are doing and don't do that. Because when I look at people, especially on public transport, when they sit out in traffic on this road out here, everyone looks like a sad cunt. Yeah. They look like they've made heaps of mistakes and they regret everything they ever did. And I'm just like, as long as I'm smiling... that it's whatever, like you don't need to look at everyone else and be like, oh, he's got this great job and he gets to travel over here and do all this. I'm like, but he's selling screws and nuts and bolts to like, bridge companies. Like, how boring is that?
Yeah, well, I think when I made the decision to do dentistry way back, I was in that position where I was at home still, and I was like, oh, I need to do something that's going to earn me money down the line, and some sort of career and stuff. And I've been a dental nurse before, like I said, so I was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do this course, I was able, because I was a mature student, to do an access to science course, which is like the equivalent of 2 A levels in chemistry and biology, but you've got to compact it to a year, so it had to be full time. So I left my job.
So what age were you when you decided to go back to uni?
26.
Okay, right.
And I'd been a dental nurse for most of that time, and I'd done a bit of sales and stuff, but I'd been a dental nurse predominantly. And so I was like, I'm just one of those people who there's nothing that you can't do if you want to do it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can't. I think when people, like, we're doing comedy now, which is great, and I think the people who get famous doing comedy at some point need a bit of a lucky break to get famous.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you'll find that most of them just have worked hard and kept at it.
Yeah.
And then there's people who are just not famous but successful in comedy, just work hard and keep at it. And I think I was always like, yeah, I'll give up my job. So I gave up my job and my car. Like, they're the only things that you'd kind of worked for. And I know there's a lot of people who'd be like, well, I've got a house now, so I can't do that. But I think you can always do anything. If you want to do it, you can find a way, rather than being one of those people who moans about not doing anything. I hate those people.
A prime example of that, there's a girl that I work with, and she was like, oh my god, you're from Australia, like, that's so crazy, like, why have you come to England? And I was like, literally just to do something different, like, just for a change up. I had a very nice life in Australia, and I just went, it's a bit boring, let's go see what's happening somewhere else. And she was like, oh my god, like, I've always wanted to go to Australia, right? Stop the sentence there. What do you think's going to come after this?
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking excuses.
Yeah,
she gave me 3 reasons why she can't go. She's scared of flying, she's got no money, and she couldn't leave her mum. Right?
Yeah.
3 reasons that I did. Yeah. I don't really love flying. It's not really, great. Yeah. I'm used to it now because I've done it. But like, I didn't, like, same as you, because Australia's an island. Going overseas from Australia, we never really did because we're so far away from everywhere else that you just have like insular holidays. We'd go up north, but there was nice beaches. There's nice places to holiday in Australia.
Yeah.
But
Talaka's nice. You should go.
Look, I'll be honest, Gemma, I don't think I am.
I'm going to make you go to Talaka on a holiday now.
I literally looked at this girl and I just thought, your life is just one big excuse of just why you can't do things. Like, it's like, I'd love to do that. And I was like, would you love to do it? Or do you just love the idea of doing it? The actual thing of actually doing it is all like, it's all too hard. And she'd put the roadblocks up before she'd even finished the sentence.
Every single person I knew at the time, there was only a few who said, yeah, go for it. But every single person I knew at the time went, do you know it takes like 5 years to be a dentist? No, 5 years to be a dentist. I was like, yeah. And you're like, well, now you've got to do this college course, and then you've got to do a year afterwards. And I went, yeah. And I was like, it's going to take me 7 years. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to look back in 10 years, and this is what happens in life. And I knew this at 26 even, so I was quite young to even really think like that. But I think I look back and I was like, 10 years ago, I was like, what am I going to do? And I'll start dental nursing. And that feels like yesterday. So one day this is going to feel like yesterday. And it does. Yeah. I've been qualified 8 years. And I look at it and go, wow, where did that time go? I remember sitting in my room at home making that decision to go to uni to do dentistry. Yeah. And I've been qualified 8 years now. But I also remember, and this is where the comedy kind of came into it, getting to my 40th birthday, and I'd had a baby, and he's great, love him to bits and everything. But I remember on my 40th birthday thinking, I don't feel totally like fulfilled.
Do you feel like you got to a point where you were thinking, is this as good as it gets?
No, just a point where like there's something weird. Well, I think it happens to most 40-year-olds, whether they're aware of it or not, or whether they will admit to it or not. But at 40, you go, shit.
What have I done?
Yeah, like... what
you look back and you're just like...
Well, because I think 40 is the first point in your life where you start looking back. Yeah. It's the first point where you go, I'm not going to get another 40 years. Like, when you turn 30, you think, okay, in the next 30 years, because on average now, most people make it to 60, right? But when
you're being generous with some of the people I've seen around Salford, mate. I'll be honest.
But when you get to 40, you go... Well, I'm not going to make it to fucking 80, am I? That's how I feel. I'm like, no fucking way. I'm going to say 80, do you know what I mean? I'm going to die of an obese-related disease before I'm 80. So I better get doing some shit.
Do you want to sit down?
Yeah. So I've got to get doing some shit that I actually wanted to do and cross off my list. But one of them was lose weight, ironically. Which is still...
Good to see your comedy career's going well.
Yeah. which is still on my list of to-dos. So I haven't crossed that one off yet. But comedy wasn't on that list, but my husband brought me a comedy course for my 40th birthday.
Right.
And I went, oh, I'm doing that. And then I went, oh yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I am, yeah.
So had you spoken about it before, you and your husband?
A little bit, yeah. Like I'd said, I think I'd started like on a couple of like drama courses, but then have you ever done any drama?
No, I've never done any course.
No,
yeah,
don't.
Okay,
Don't.
Explain to me what a drama course is.
It would be, well. There's loads in Liverpool that you could go on, and I just googled it, and because I always thought like I always thought there was something in there I couldn't quite figure out what that was, whether I wanted to act or do comedy or whatever, and like when you do this and all your mates go, oh, you're dead funny, and I was like, yeah, but everyone is. I think you're dead funny. That's why you're my mates.
Yeah.
But to write it and perform it and have comedy time, and you realise then that you can actually
I can
do this.
Yeah.
But I think I can't remember really a point of saying I'd like to try stand-up comedy. I think he said to me, oh, you should try a stand-up course, and I was like, nah. I was like, I'd never have the bottle to get up and do that. But a drama course is totally different. Like, you know, well, you've got to be serious sometimes, which just didn't really
I don't think that would go well for you.
No.
That's why I couldn't get over when you told me that you were a dentist, because I've only seen you as like a silly Billy, like making jokes and whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, 'cause my mum's worked in dentistry, and I've never met a funny dentist, ever. Yeah. Like, they're all just like, fucking brush and floss, you fuckwit. Like,
that's exactly what I sound like at work. Because you floss, you fuckwit. Get out. No, I don't. I actually, do you know what? There's actually, like a lot of people in comedy, I think there's people who are funny, they have an incredibly serious side, and that is mine. I'm quite passionate about dentistry. I'm dead passionate about prevention. I think kids should be taught how to brush their teeth at school.
People don't know how to brush their teeth. Oh my God. Yeah. No one here that I've met knows how to brush their teeth.
No. And like, I am another Australian person who said, oh yeah, well, like I floss every day. I was like, kids here wouldn't even know what floss was.
I don't floss every day.
But I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But it's a bit weird. Oh, was that guy Canadian? Or he might have been Canadian actually. And he was like, oh yeah, I floss every day, like we were taught. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Kids here, don't know which ends of the toothbrush is. Yeah. And I think that's unfair. And it's just purely education, because you'll find if the kids' teeth are bad, the parents' teeth have got bad teeth, and the parents before them. And something needs to change within the NHS to stop that. And I could literally go on about that for hours. Like, there is an incredibly serious side.
We're going to have a special dentistry podcast.
Yeah. There is a very serious side of me about dentistry, and there's parts of it that I love. There was a woman came in not so long back, and she had a lesion under her tongue, and I sent her off to the dental hospital, and it turned out that she had mouth cancer, but she'd had it for quite a long time, because there's a different condition that you can have with the part of your tongue white, and it's harmless. Yeah. And so nobody had ever really checked it out, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to send you and get that checked out. So you get a lot of satisfaction in that way, and I am quite serious about it, and but the true me is
as a silly Billy.
Yeah. yeah.
So explain to me this comedy course. What happened?
The me is that I want to be is someone that goes and makes everyone laugh. I'd love that. Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened on this comedy course? Explain to me what happened.
Well, the first night I was like, am I really going to go on a comedy course? But I did anyway, and I went along, and it was with the Comedy Trust in Liverpool. Okay. And there's a guy called Sam Avery. You've heard of Sam Avery?
I've heard the name. I've never met the bloke though.
Yeah. So he's a Liverpool comedian, quite well established. He's just about to start his own tour, so he's quite well established and quite well known. But I didn't have a clue who anyone was. That's the other thing about comedy, because I never really went to watch comedy or anything beforehand. See a little bit of it on the telly, not really bothered. So the other good thing about it is when you don't know anyone, you just walk into it like, hiya. You know what I mean?
That was like me.
Now I'd be like, oh, Sam Avery. Fair dues, I can be taught by this guy, he's good. Do you know what I mean? Whereas at the time I was like, who's this fella?
Do you know who Simon Lomas is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so the first time I met Simon Lomas was at Holdfast Comedy at Shark in Manchester, right? And he was emceeing the open mic section. And I was like getting a bit chatty in the audience, right? And he said like a put down to me in the audience to make me be quiet. And then he's like, please welcome up our next act, Matty Shaw. And I get up and he was like, oh no. And I got on stage. And I didn't know who the fuck he was right? And I looked over at Rob Mulholland, and I was like, Rob, I didn't know we were letting Make-A-Wish kids MC this event, because he does look like a child. And everyone was like, no one laughed, everyone was just like, ooh. Like, and then I got off, and they were like, do you know who that is? And I was like, no, he's just some fucking kid, isn't he? They're like, that's Simon Lomas. Like, that was a big deal. And I was like, who the fuck is that? But again, like, because I came from somewhere else, I never watched any of these people. I don't know who any of these people are.
No, and well, I mean, you wouldn't have seen Simon on TV anyway, and I know who Simon Lomas is now.
Yeah.
But you know, a few months ago, I didn't have a clue who he was. And in a way, it's kind of a better way to approach comedy rather than. It's only now when you join the Facebook comedy forum and it's like, oh, that's so and so, and oh, that's so and so, and I went and did the Gong in Stockton-on-Tees, the Gong show over there.
On Friday?
Yeah.
How'd you go?
4:09.
You did better than Sean Pachkowski.
Oh, you know what? I was like, I'm going to stay on, and then...
Were they really brutal?
It was quite brutal, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Most people didn't get past 2 minutes, so I felt quite proud of me 4:09.
That's good.
But it was, it was a bit brutal, yeah. Yeah, and the MC said to one of the audience, he was like, oh, you know, you can have a go if you want, and I was like, oh, don't do that, because they're gonna love it, because they're all like, Arr! So then this guy went on in my place, and I got moved up.
Hang on, they let an audience member go on?
Yeah.
What?
I know. I think it was just a bit of a...
Did he get through?
A bit of entertainment for everyone. But then, like, he kind of realised, oh, well, we can't let him through because he isn't actually part of the competition. So then the crowd were all dead angry that, like, old Austin got turfed off because they were all laughing at him. They were all going, yeah! Like, they were all really belly laughing at this guy that had just got up out the audience.
Because he's from their fucking council estate,
I know, because he's from there, yeah. So he was quite funny, in fairness to him, like he was. But,
did he have it planned, or was it all ad-libbed?
No, he just got up and did some jokes. And so I was like in the wings waiting to go on. He'd taken my place, so I went on. They were all fuming because he said, no.
Some fucking scouser. What the fuck is this mum doing up on this stage? Get back, Austin. Bring him back.
I was like that. How do I follow Austin now? Because then they all got told, oh no, Austin can't win, he can't take part in this competition, so they were all fumed, boo, and everything like that. I went on like that.
My name's Joe.
Yeah, so I was, so it was, so the fact that I managed to stay on for 4 minutes and 9 seconds, I was like, I'll take that.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So the comedy course, what did they teach you? Was it all joke writing, or was it performing?
It was when you think about it now, which I quite like, it's the pure basics of it. It's like sort of, we're all going to sit round this first week and we're all going to talk about what we like and what we think is funny. Great. And then next week, you need to write 5 minutes of comedy and stand up in front of this class and say, there's only about, say, 10 people in the class. And Sam. And, and he was just like, you know, write 5 minutes of something that you think is funny and come back and do it the next week. And I was like, okay.
So what did you write? Anything that made it to stage that I would have said?
And then,
yeah. Was that your 5 minutes? Was the 5 minutes you came up with that second week?
The 5 minutes that you saw at Manchester was, was... I'm still using that stuff now because, well, it's funny.
It's gold.
Well, I think it's funny.
I think it's funny. That's why you're fucking here.
Yeah. So that in that 5 minutes, it's slightly different now, and there's a couple of bits added to it and stuff like that. And I've written I've probably got about 3 10-minute sets now. But for only 6 months in, I'm okay with that because it means when I do certain things, I can chop and change those things. And I've done 2 20-minute sets now as well. So I was okay with that. But a lot of that in that first night. I probably used about 30. No, about.
So how long did the course go for?
6 weeks.
Okay.
So each week you went in and you did your set again, and everyone else did their set again, and everyone else would say, take this in, take this out, that's funny, this is funny. And I remember it was about the 3rd week, and Sam Avery said to me, he said, I don't know what we're going to do with you, not a lot really, yours is quite good. And I remember going,
ooh, top of the class.
I've never been top of the class or anything, ever. So like I couldn't, but I'd never say that. I'd never say like I was top of the class. But to get a really nice comment from him like that. But again, I just didn't know at the time who he was.
So
to think now that you're in the comedy world, you're like, that's Sam Avery. Yeah. Like, you know, he's like, ooh. yeah. Whereas then I was like, oh yeah, okay. So this fella thinks I'm good.
So anyone that you did the course with, have you seen on the circuit since?
Out of our course, there's only one guy that's still doing the circuit, Paul Clark. I don't know if you've seen him or not.
Is he Liverpool based? Okay.
Yeah, St Helens based, and we've been to it and done like a few gigs together and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
but the rest of them just didn't take a shining to it, or just weren't good. Or?
I don't know. No, there was some. No, there was. Some of them were really, really good. Because at the end of the 6 weeks, you do a showcase where you do it in Rawhide Comedy Club, and you all invite 10 to 15 members of your friends or family or whatever, and everyone does that, and I think there was 8 of us at the end of the course, and then you all do your 5 minutes in front of this, so it's the first time that you've ever got up to do a comedy set in front of...
And it's in front of a generous, nice family atmosphere
audience. Yeah, because everyone's there to
support their person, but they also understand that their person's been through this with you. So even people that don't know you... I had a lovely gig on Friday, Belly Laugh Comedy in Adderton, where Phil Sutton's from, in a little cafe to about 50 people. The nicest audience I've ever had. Yeah. They are so starved of entertainment, and nothing happens in this tiny little pocket south of Wigan, right? That I've never had so many "you were really funnies" and so many "thank you so much for coming." Like, they were so grateful that we had come, and everyone did really, really well. And the only person from our little posse that didn't come was Sean, because he was at the Gong Show in Stockton, where he got gonged off in a minute 40, and he travelled fucking hours to get there.
He was at the Gong Show with me. We were both sitting there going, "What the hell are we doing?"
And he was like, "I'm never travelling halfway across the country for a fucking Gong Show again." Because he tried to do... There was a Leicester Square comedian the year one he went to London for, and he got gonged off after about 2 minutes there as well.
No, he wouldn't have got gonged off there. I did the Leicester Square competition as well.
Was it not gonged off? Was it just really bad?
That wasn't a gong. That was a... That's a competition, so you get your 5 minutes.
Oh, he didn't get through then. He didn't get... He made...
I did. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah.
No,
did they like it?
I got through to the quarters.
Okay.
But it's the quarters, so there's a long way to go yet.
Right.
But,
so when are the quarters?
23rd.
Okay.
So
just to let you know, you didn't miss out on much in Harrogate.
Oh, did I not? Yeah.
A big room, very empty. Audience scattered out everywhere. MC asking middle-aged, middle-class Harrogate people where he can buy pills, right? Madness. What are you doing? Know your audience. Then the acts were mediocre, including myself. Like, I didn't put in a great performance, but no one really did. The audience were just like, meh, make us laugh. Like, we're from Harrogate. We've paid, 12 quid to come to the worst comedy show you've ever seen.
And you're like, this is a laugh in itself. Really.
I was literally laughing at how much they were charged to come and sit in an empty room and just hear idiots.
Who went through them?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you get an email afterwards. You don't find out on the day.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I didn't follow it. All I know is that I didn't get through. So that was... Yeah,
it's a weird one. I think the competitions, they're good to do. Like the Gong Show. I don't regret driving all the way over there for that Gong Show, because to me, like, you always learn something.
What did you learn?
Well, I've walked away since, and I thought, I originally, when he got the audience member out of the audience, and I thought, I took that all as like, when, just being honest with myself, I took that as a bit of a downturn in the situation, because I thought, I've got to follow this guy on now, and they're all loving him because he's a local, and now he's been turfed off because he can't win. Yeah. So I'm going out to this crowd who are fuming because they want him to win, and I think now, looking back on it, I think you just always learn something. I think if I was in that position again, rather than me taking it as a negative on me having to go out there now to this crowd that are all booing because Austin's been kicked off, I might have used it to my advantage in some way. Do you know what I mean? Like, sort of. And I think you just like live it and learn it a little bit with everything. So I think even if you have a bit of a crap night in comedy, there's you'd always take something away. Like, I always go home and think, I could have done this better, or that might happen, or do you know what I mean?
Do you record your sets on your phone and then go home and listen to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get someone else to just hold the camera and record it.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
You need to do that.
I try and do it every single time.
Yeah. Everyone should do that. You've got to see where you get the laughs, because I write something and I then expect people to laugh, and in certain situations, I've never, touch wood, it's going to sound terrible, but I've never actually died on stage where, like, nobody laughs.
It'll come.
Yeah. I know. It's like I'm only 6 months in, so it's gonna happen. But yeah, like literally where nobody laughs, and when I do a joke and then and it doesn't land and nobody laughs, it throws me, and I'm like, oh, you've got to get out of that.
Yeah.
You need to be able to just move on.
Yeah.
And I can hear myself go, or laughing at myself, which is even worse, isn't it? And no one's laughing, and you go, I'll laugh at that myself then.
I had a gig. I did Benjamin Barry Watkins' gig in Hazel Grove.
Oh yes, yeah.
You've done that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't, but I'm going to in December.
Okay, it's a lovely gig. I was really off my game. I was working on about 4 hours sleep. He'd left me. Everyone had run over time. It was very late at night. I got on stage, did a set that I know works because it got me to beat the Frog World Series. I've done it at Hot Water. It works. It's a great set. Yeah. I just put in a lackluster effort, and nobody laughed except Ben. Ben was just like giggling down the front because he'd seen it be done well before. Yeah. The rest of them were just like, this is terrible. The funniest thing I said, it was 10 minutes of torture. I asked the audience if they were awake, and they laughed.
Oh God! You see, this is just. Do you ever I always think to myself, and I said this to Sean the other night. I sit there and I go, what the hell am I doing here? And I do it almost before every gig. I sit there and go, I am a 40-year-old woman, with a child, you know.
What do your family think of this?
With a professional job.
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here about to do this, but then every time I've done a gig, I love the little buzz that you get off it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing nicer than making people laugh.
Yeah.
It's a great job. Oh well, it's assuming that we're all getting paid if we don't. But it's a.
I'll give you a cracker if you like.
It's a nice. I'll take it. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making people laugh. It's nice. It's fun, and so it's just one of those things, isn't it? But you do every time without fail. You go, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
So what?
I think we all do a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, I guess. What do your family think though?
I think a lot of my family and friends go, oh yeah, you should be doing that.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who told me I was funny in the first place.
Yeah.
So I think family and friends are always going to be supportive. There's not one of them that's gone, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like most of them have gone, oh yeah, Gemma, you should be doing that. Yeah. Which is great because that's really, really nice. So about 2, maybe 3 nights a week I'll go and do a gig, but I'm trying to keep it to 2 because I've got a little one as well. So
yeah.
But I don't know. It kind of draws you in, comedy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And every time I think, what am I doing? I shouldn't really be doing this. I should probably give this up. I see another gig on the forum and I go, oh no, I'll just do that. Oh, I'll just I'll try and get that.
So you're always like teetering on the end of retirement before anything's even happened.
Not like I don't want. It's not like you want to quit. It's just like sometimes you do go like, what am I doing? Don't you? I do not get that.
I don't really get that because like for me, like I think it's weird. So like I was talking to Anna Spark yesterday, and I've spoken to Dan Baines quite extensively about this. I don't want to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Like I have no interest in a career in comedy.
Yeah.
I want a career in radio and podcasting.
Yes.
That's my jazz.
Yeah.
However, when I got here to Manchester, I sat in this very apartment with my one friend that I've moved here with from Australia, and we were like, we have no mates, we have no job, the weather is terrible, and like we thought about going home. Like we were just like, what have we done? Like this is so shit. Like we looked outside, it's January, the beast from the east is rolling through, and I'm just like, this place sucks. Like it was just so terrible. And we just sat here and we played Xbox and we just chatted to each other. And he was like,
you mean with that lovely view of the Liverpool Leeds Canal? You wanted to go home? What's up with you? Get a miserable soft.
There's a fucking
back
fridge.
To sunshine.
There's a fucking fridge that literally floats up and down that river, and I'll like get excited when I see it. I'm like, Cam, the fridge is here. Go out and take pictures of it.
Love it.
Like it's disgusting.
Good old Manchester entertainment.
But I was like, how can I get a group of friends? And I wasn't ready to get a job because I was trying to graft and get the radio thing off the ground. So I didn't want to like just take a shit job just for the sake of it. I did end up doing that, and I've quit that. And now I've got a better job, but I was like, what can I do to find a network of people that are going to be funny, think like me, and just be entertaining to be around? And I was like, comedy. So I booked in to do the Comedy Balloon, and I had to do like a booked gig. I didn't want to do one of these come in and sign up gigs, because I was like, then I'll just make an excuse not to go. So I was like, if I have a date, I've locked it in, I've sent an email, it's serious now. Like, put it in the calendar. You've got to write like stuff by this date. And then I went and I did it, and I went well. And then I did Fab Cafe the next night. I did Frog and Bucket the Monday, got through to the clap-off first time. I think you were on that show in April, the Frog and Bucket. It might have been the first time I saw you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
The jokes were terrible. Your jokes have stayed the same. I've been that set long ago, mate. But yeah, and then that's how I've sort of, like, my network of friends here have all been through comedy. So when I go back to Australia, I want to go back, take my job back on the radio, do all the stuff that I was doing, but as well, I want to organise comedy nights and try, because there's no comedy scene in Brisbane. Like, there's no opportunities to do comedy, and I quite enjoy it. And there's these type of people that I've met there that just don't have the place to do it.
And I think now I'm actually sort of in this this forum of comedy. I can appreciate now a good comedy night and what actually live comedy brings to people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I probably wouldn't have even gone to a comedy night. Like, I wouldn't have probably gone to Hot Water Comedy Club. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have thought of going.
Yeah.
And so to be a part of it now is really quite nice, and it's almost better if you don't know anyone and you don't really know who anyone is, because you don't have preconceived ideas of anyone or anything or who anyone is. So you're just walking in like, hi mate, sound, right. Do you know what I mean? Just like, and everyone goes, that's Paul Smith. I'm like, oh, lovely, smashing, hi Paul. So I
remember someone told me about Paul Smith, and I was like,
he is brilliant.
I don't know who that is. And then I watched him MC, and I was like, oh, okay. And he came out and he's like, you're on next. And I was like, okay. And sort of like shook his hand and the rest, and then just moved on. And then after I came off stage, he was like, that was pretty good. I was like, thanks, Paul. Yeah. But he was like very just like nonchalant, like whatever.
But
he's
sound, and he's just.
I think he gets a lot of like fangirls. Like Adam Hughes said, never go on a night out with him in Liverpool. Yeah. He goes, because you just can't go anywhere. Like he's just he's too big in Liverpool.
Yes.
But I think as well, the problem with him is I don't know why he doesn't translate outside of Liverpool. Like I think if he went to London, I don't think. Like, he comes to Manchester and it goes all right, but outside of this little pocket of the northwest, I don't know why he needs like an extra push, like you said, that lucky break to go from being famous and successful to being like, that next level.
I don't know. I follow him on Instagram, and he did do the Hammersmith Apollo as well.
Oh, so, did he? And he sold it out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know he'd had that success.
Yeah. So he is. That's. Star is rising, but I think he's great. He's and
he deserves everything he gets,
and he's really hard. As well. The good, I think a good MC, despite the fact that at the moment he's probably the hottest, property MC wise in town in Liverpool and the Northwest and everything like that. That a good MC, I think it's brilliant when the first thing they do. He came right up to all the acts, introduced himself, even though we all knew who he was. Went through the lineup of everyone, made sure everyone was all right, and the good thing about it was as well is when you came off the stage, he was right there. He was the first person to shake your hand and say well done. And I think when you're in this comedy world, that speaks volumes. I think when you've got a good MC that can bring it all together. Freddie Quinn's a brilliant MC as well. Yeah. He's always there in the room with the acts, putting the list together, gives you a little pat on the back going on, tells you you're great coming off, and I think that's a really good quality to have as an MC.
I think those guys as well, I think what's good for them is that they started from where we were, and they haven't sort of forgotten that in a way, because they MC nights for open spots and new comedians and all that still quite regularly, along with paid gigs and theatres and all the rest. They see everything, they haven't forgotten about where they started, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the good thing about Hot Water. They've created a platform for not only professional acts to be in there, but also for amateur acts to get a really good comedy audience. Because that I think that on a comedy night, a good MC can make or break it, a venue can make or break it, an audience can make or break it, a comedian can as well, but do you know what I mean? If you walk into a place that's geared up for comedy, you've got a microphone there and all the chairs are pointed in one place, and say the lights are down a little bit and the lights are on the stage, and so they're focused on the comedian, and they've got a good MC to big everyone up and stuff, that that can be, there's a combination of things that make a really good comedy night. And you know yourself, if you've turned up to some places and there's like a microphone in the corner of like a bar, and like no one gives a shit that you're there.
You'll see tonight what a good comedy night looks like, Gemma.
I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to die tonight, you know that, don't you?
No!
It's going to be my first night. Well, I won't, will I? Because you'll laugh.
You can't die with my audience, mate. They are beautiful. It is one of the most generous rooms in Manchester. Even if you're not funny, they'll laugh because they feel sorry for you.
Oh, Sam, that'll do me then. I'll take pity any day. So long as there's a laugh, I'll take it. If it's pity, I'm not asked.
So I want to get to know you a little bit more. What was Gem Roberts like back in school?
Oh God. Well, she was Gemma Rowe.
Gemma Rowe, why?
That was my maiden name.
Oh right, okay. I thought you were just like R.O., like short and Roberts, but now I realise that marriage is a real thing.
Yeah, no, marriage is a real thing. Yeah. God, what was I like at school? I didn't really like school a lot. I was off a lot, but not because I was ill all the time.
Off school or off your game?
Yeah, no, like off school. It was almost like sort of, be arsed with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I didn't get bullied, there was not a bad experience at school. I hated the confinement. I don't mind work, but I hate being made to do something that I don't want to do, like going to school. I remember being in primary school and like looking at the big gates around the end of the field thinking, just want to go. I just want to be out there. I don't want to be in here. I feel like I always felt a bit imprisoned in school. I don't know why.
It was so funny.
It wasn't a bad experience. I just was like, I just don't want to be arsed with this. That's how I felt.
What were you like? Were you like intelligent? Were your grades up high, or because you never attended? It was.
I was clever enough. I was putting all of the top sets for things, and then gradually over years I was like further down. But I only ever got to like the second set, and I'm okay with that. Right. And that was purely from just a lack of effort. I remember my science teacher sitting down with me, Mrs. Appleton, and I really liked her. And she was just like, do you know, if you tried, like, you'd probably do really well. She was like, I've got to give you this C, and I don't want to because I can see that you could be an A student. And I was like, okay, yes, sounds all right. Thanks very much for that.
You're like a teacher's worst nightmare.
Yeah,
you have potential, but you won't use it.
Yeah. I could see how teaching me would have been frustrating, to be honest, because they'd be like, you know what, you've got brains, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I know, I just can't be asked.
So what were you doing with all this free time?
No, it wasn't like I was sort of true. I just tell my mum I was sick. Oh, mum, do you know what, I just don't feel well. She went, oh, okay, then we'll send a note in. Oh, okay. So it wasn't like truancy. I'd be like at home and stuff, and then,
just like watching DVDs or like doing what?
I don't know, just like. I preferred adulting then, do you know what I mean? I liked going to the shop with my mum, and I liked like putting the washing on and stuff like that. I don't know, it wasn't like I was out with my schoolmates wrecking up the town, do you know what I mean?
I've never heard of a kid being like, I'd rather stay at home and put the washing on than go to fucking school.
But I wasn't like off all the time, but my attendance was pretty crap, you know.
But your mum wasn't asked like about the attendance?
No, that makes her sound bad. It wasn't that. I think she just was like, I don't know. I think it must have been quite hard for her, really.
Was she similar? She didn't really take to school either.
No. I think she was quite driven, really. But she had kids when she was young. She met dad when they were quite young, and so she had kids when she was young. And she was always say to us, you know, you got to make something of yourself. So she'd always say to me, you know, you really should have gone to school today. There isn't actually anything wrong with you. And I go, no. But I just, my attendance just wasn't great. It was never that bad that we had to get called to school, but it was like sort of. You know,
you tread a fine line.
I'd just be like, I want to go today. So I was a bit like that, and it was frustrating for teachers because I did have the brains, I just didn't have the wherewithal to push myself forward, and I don't. That must have came. I think that's why I'm doing everything a little bit later than perhaps I should have. Yeah. I didn't really have. I want to say I didn't really have a lot of confidence. But I don't think my schoolmates would necessarily say that, but I think I felt it, you know. Yeah. But I always had mates. I wasn't ever like, I didn't want to not go to school because I was bullied or had no mates. I always had mates. Yeah. You know, so it wasn't a bad experience. I just was like, oh.
Was it a scared to try in case you fail, so you just be like, oh, I can't be bothered, like?
No, do you know what? I've never been somebody who is afraid of failing. I'm a little bit more afraid of success in a way, which is weird, isn't it? Like
that is weird.
I know, like I'd be like, oh, all that nonsense that you've got to bother. Like comedy, I really like doing comedy, and I'd like to be a comedian. But do you know, like most of these people who we're with kind of will all be like, oh, imagine if I get to be a famous comedian. And when people say that to me, I go, oh my God, no, I'd hate that. Because like everyone would know you. That would be bad going to the supermarket, wouldn't it? That would be bad, wouldn't it? I'd be like, I just quite like kind of, I don't know.
That's why I like radio, because everyone knows your voice, but no one knows what you look like.
Yeah, and do you know what I've really found is like, obviously, since I've started comedy, and then you get a few little offers here and there, and I've started doing this radio show, and I really like that. Like, I really like radio. I think that's because of that same thing. I can go into this little room,
and you don't have to dress up for it either.
Yeah.
Like, look at what I'm wearing now. Like.
Yeah, you can dress up. You can dress up. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do your hair, which is a great thing for me because I'm always just ragging it back in a ponytail. But yeah, and I really like radio because you can bust all your personality bits out, but you don't have to necessarily like worry too much. I don't know, but I quite like radio for that reason as well. Not more so than comedy, a bit of both really. But yeah, I wouldn't actually like to be famous. I think I'd freak out.
Yeah,
a bit. So I think it's.
Have you been recognised since you've been doing comedy?
No.
No?
No. I don't.
Not
no.
anywhere? No?
No. I don't think. No, God, I'm not famous enough for that.
No, but like I've been like walking through Manchester and people have been like, oh, I saw you doing comedy. And I'm like, oh, did you? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Do you know what? Tell a lie. I took my little boy to nursery, and they probably think I'm quite serious in the nursery because I'm a dentist, and I drop my little boy off, and I'm very serious about his care, obviously. So I'll be like, he needs this, and he's got to have this, and he's got to have
serious
that.
about his care.
And no, but you are as a mother. You go in and you go.
I've never been a mum, so I just found that statement quite funny.
No, so this is what you've got to contend with when you're a mum. You've got to go in the nursery. You've got to tell them, you know, like this is his little cup, and he has to have it this way, and he's got to do this, and you know, this.
I'd hate to work at a fucking nursery with mums like you telling me how to give the kid a fucking drink. Like, just put the fucking shit in the cup and put it down your gullet, you fucking idiot. Like, he can drink out of a cup.
No. But honestly, every mum is like this. You can hear them all at the little gate going.
Imagine having 30 kids.
And he doesn't like that. And he won't eat that. And don't feed him that. And if he doesn't eat that, eat this.
He won't eat mayonnaise, and he doesn't like white bread. And
yada,
yada.
So,
oh my God.
So I think they probably found me to be quite like serious or a bit full on, dare I say it. And,
a bit full on. Tell me about a drink.
And then one of them had seen the hot water video online, and she went, I saw you online on hot water. I went, oh yeah. And she was like, you're really funny. I was like, oh, thanks. And like, I immediately went from like sort of dentist mum Gemma to comedy Gemma. I was like, oh, thanks. Do you like it? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You could just see her go, like, what's happened to her, kind of thing. But
it's almost like you're playing a character.
But you're
playing a character in real life, and then on stage, that's like who you actually want to be.
Yeah, in a way. In real life, I play it being like sensible.
Yeah, this is what an adult should behave like. I have to do that. Ooh.
Yeah, I have. Good. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And I got recognised at the nursery. Oh, and at the kennels as well, because my dogs go to doggy daycare.
Right. And did they enjoy the video as well? Has anyone ever seen you live?
Yeah, the dogs love it.
Yeah. No, I meant the fucking staff at the kennels.
I know. The dogs are two of my biggest fans. I'm like, check this out, guys. Mummy is so funny. Yeah, one of the girls texted me from the kennel. She was like, "Oh, I've just seen you on Hot. Like, what? Are you like a comedian now?" And do you know how many people have said to me, "Are you still doing dentistry?" I'm like, "Yeah, you don't get paid to do comedy." I think people think it's a massive misconception that people think that when you decide to be a comedian, that you go, "Oh, I'm going to be a comedian," and everyone's just going to pay you.
Dream on, mate.
Yeah, everyone's going,
not some of the fuckwits I've seen. Jesus Christ.
Everyone's going like, "Oh, you're still doing dentistry?" I'm like, "Yes, because I have to have a real job."
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the thing. I think you find that as well with a lot of going around doing comedy is like, when do people get paid? I've got no idea. I just keep turning up to gigs and doing stuff.
There's paid gigs on offer, but you've got to really start smashing the free circuit. And you've also got to figure out ways that you can get paid. So you've got to be like a bit industrious with it. So it's either like creating your own gigs or doing different things to find a way to get paid. But just like, I see like ads on Facebook and people be like, want an opener for 100 quid. And I look and I'm like, I'm not worth 100 quid worth of opening. So like, you just don't even apply. But someone who is at that stage, who's, you know, done it for however long, would be like, well, I'm worth 100 quid. I can
see that on the forum that, you know, there's paid gigs that I go, I wouldn't even go there. I did have one paid opener though already, which is good, you know. But it's a bit difficult, really, isn't it, to gauge when you feel you might or might not be good enough. But I've accepted now at this point that I'm like sort of right. Okay, you need to you've got to at least do stand up for a couple of years to even get to a point where you could even be considered for those things, you know. So I think I took it on with like, great gusto, and I was going to do.
If you think about it as well, the longer this drags on, so you think about all the open spots that we know, all the people you'll see tonight, all the people all the people that you've done gigs with. In 2 years, 70% of those people will drop off. Just plain and simple facts. So if
it's kind of like who sticks in it, isn't it?
If you're willing just to stick in it for time, like, do you know Leslie Davis? Leslie Davies?
I don't know her, but I've heard
of it, right. So she's quit her job to pursue comedy, right? She's taken a big step and she's getting paid gigs. She's doing the thing, but she's been in it for almost 5 years now. So, but she's like talking to people that are like headlining at the Comedy Store and that, and she was like, they've been doing it for like 20 years. And again, successful, but not famous. And they were saying to her, it's just who sticks around long enough, because the pool just gets smaller and smaller and everyone gets better and better incrementally. But whoever can stick around the longest, the pool that they grab from just becomes smaller and smaller. And then eventually it's you. Like, that's just the way it rolls. So if you're willing to stick it out, Gem, maybe, just maybe, you can make it to go to a gig in Hull for 30 quid. Woo! But the petrol's 28 quid to get there and back.
There is a lot of that, isn't there? There's a lot of like, I think people don't necessarily realise that with comedians, like you fork out a lot of your own money to get to places and you don't get paid for it. But there is that thing of like, you do it for the love of it.
It's exciting.
I do. There's just something about it that once I get there and I've done the gig and I've done my 10 minutes, I've made people laugh, I'm really happy with that. I am genuinely like,
you go home and you're
I love
like,
that.
Oh yay!
Yeah, I love that. And it's actually started. I think it's made me overall a bit happier with my own life. You know, it's. I mean, having my son is brilliant, because kids are just so much fun. He's great. But kids have a lot of hard work as well, so it's kind of nice a couple of nights a week to just go and be you and do something that is just for you. And so it's kind of given me a much nicer balance, and I actually enjoy my job as a dentist more because I've got also something else for me, which is a bit weird.
It's almost like an outlet.
Yeah.
Like people take up martial arts if they're getting frustrated.
Or some people go to the gym, and I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
So
it was weight loss or comedy, and I can see what you've chosen.
Thanks.
I feel bad saying these things, but you just walk into them like...
Yeah, no, that's fine. Don't worry, I'll get you back.
Bully the mum of comedy. So what is the plan from here? Do you have like a vision for like 2019? Is there any things that you want to tick off the bucket list? Do you want to play a certain place or achieve a certain level, or are you just rolling as it comes?
I think, to be honest with you, with comedy, I'm just going to roll as it comes, because I started off, I was saying before, I started off with loads of gusto of like, I'm going to do 3 nights a week, and I'm going to get so good at it, and actually I've kind of gone, I think everyone starts like that, and then I've kind of gone, okay, just take a step back and just enjoy it for what it is.
Did you start in April?
Yeah.
We started at the exact same time, and I'm at the exact same place right now, where I'm like, you need to take more time to write and do less performances, because I was doing like 5 and 6 performances a week, like two in one nights. Like I was just getting on stage as much as I could, and I was like, I've stopped learning things from being on stage because my writing was so weak. So it's like, you need to take the time to sit down and actually write the stuff, and then when it's ready, take it to stage. Don't just get up for the sake of getting up. Like I'm going to my own gig tonight, and I'm not going to get on stage because I don't need to. I'm writing now. So I don't need to get on stage and just say things for the fun of saying them. You know, it's not going to benefit me at all, and the whole audience knows who I am and know all the jokes. So you know, it's just a waste of time. Yeah,
because you'll probably get the same kind of audience when you do start a comedy night. I'm just about to start a comedy night in Liverpool called the Comedy Van. The first one will be on the 20th of November, by the way.
Ooh.
So I'm doing
What's the format?
The first one, I've got Freddie Quinn to MC.
Ooh.
And Simon Lomas.
Ooh. Is it a paid gig?
I'm going to open.
Ooh.
And then I've got a few 10-minute spots in between. So I'm going to be on to you guys in the next few weeks, because the next one will be the 4th of December, and then I'll have one monthly after that. But this is the first one. But the place that I've got in touch with and stuff was a connection through my husband's work, and they will promote and they will also pay.
Good.
Those guys. The rest of us, I'm not paid, and the open spots.
Same with the gig that I'm organising in Blackburn.
And the open spots aren't paid either.
Yeah.
So, but
it's a 10-minute open spot. Whereabouts is it? In Birkenhead? Or?
No, it'll be in Liverpool.
Okay.
It's at a place called Punch Tarmies, which is in the Baltic Triangle, which is quite an up and coming area of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Where the old Keynes Brewery was, and it is a good night. But so I'll have my idea was to have a headliner and an MC that I've paid, so and then intertwine with amateur comedy as well, because I think it's important for everyone to. So
you're thinking 5 acts a night with an MC, one headliner.
Yeah.
So
one headliner, one headliner, pay an MC.
Yeah.
And then I will. This is what the pressure I put myself under, to write 10 minutes of new comedy that's quality for each month, because I'm only going to do it on a monthly basis. So I'll put myself under that pressure then to write.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, look, thank you so much for coming on, Gemma. If people want to follow you online, what's your Instagram?
Gemma's Comedy Diaries. Facebook is Gemma's Comedy Diaries. www.gemmaroberts.net.
Oh my god, you have a website.
Yeah.
You're so fancy.
And I'm on Twitter as well, at GC Diaries. My husband's really technical, so I'm dead lucky. He made me a website. I wouldn't have got there myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's on the website? Like all the links to your hot water videos and that?
There's a link to my hot water video. My gigs go on there. And
does he update it for you, or do you update it?
No, he updates it.
Oh, so he's really behind it. Like he's behind you 100%. I was going to ask. He doesn't regret gifting you the comedy.
He is massively supportive.
That's so nice.
A lot of fellas probably wouldn't like maybe their wife going out to maybe 3 nights a week, doing a gig, meeting loads of new people, but he's really supportive, but I support him in his work as well, so
yeah,
we're good.
Beautiful relationship, and congratulations on being the first mum ever on the Giggle Gang podcast.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my Gregson's Comedy of the Year award then.
I didn't know about it.
My golden Greggy.
What did you win? Sorry.
Oh, there was a Gregson's Comedy Club in Lancaster.
Yeah.
And they did their first new comedian of the year. I mean, Sean was in that too.
Yeah, he didn't win. Such shit, Sean. Right, if that bloke ever wins a competition, his head will fucking explode.
I think he's plotting my death at the moment. everywhere he turns up, I'm there.
He did Cheshire Cat comedy when Mr. Badger won as well.
Mr. Badger's good though.
I know. I had Mr. Badger in here.
I know, I've listened.
It was mad. Yeah. It was utter madness.
So it's all good. I'm very happy to have done the podcast. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Well, look, you stay safe.
Yeah.
Look after your son, and make sure you keep telling people how he needs to drink his water.
Yeah.